What's up, guys? How's it going? My name's Christian, and I just wanted to talk about why I made No Path Forward, my game, my indie game. Um, Hang on, we got some stuff going on. So, why did I make No Path Forward? Let me give you a little bit of a backstory to my life. So, about a year and a half, a year and it was a while ago. It was February of last year. Um, I was working at a software job. I was coding. I was basically like a bug fixer for the engineering team. So I never really made any actual features. I just made fixed bugs. And I really wanted to do a project on the side in my free time. And I was like seeing videos on YouTube of people learning Unity and Godot and Unreal and all these game engines, and I was like, man, like how cool would it be if I could make a game, like a PS1 style horror game, like I I used to watch Puppet Combo gameplays and like Fears to Fathom, and I played Voices of the Void, and that was super cool. I was like, man, I want to like make a game, right? And so I luckily had some C sharp knowledge in my back pocket from when I used to work at another company. And I decided, hey, I'm gonna try to learn Unity. Um, so, yeah, I mean, with that came a lot of unexpected learning curves. Like, I had to learn how to model the 3D models, like with Blender. I had to learn how to texture models. I had to learn how to UV unwrap models. I had to learn all the ins and outs about seams and seamless textures and CC0 textures, copyright free textures, and how to make a texture and like what to look for in a texture, how to downscale a texture. I'll link you to all the videos that I followed to help me get started on all these things, but I really just wanted to make a PS1 style horror game when I first started. And I'll see if I can post some screenshots of what I first started with, but it wasn't the best, but I just kept working on it in my free time. Um, but around the same time that I started making my game, I started going to this church near me, and I really did not know how I felt about Christianity and religion and all this stuff. Like, I grew up going to church when I was younger. Like, here, we would go here and there with my family. But the church that we went to, I just felt like we were going there to check the box off. Like, yep, like we're here on Sunday, like we're wearing our Sunday best, we're doing what we do, and then we go home and we continue our lives as normal. And so I never really learned what being a Christian actually was. Um, but something just kept pulling on me, and it wasn't until like February, same time I started the game, that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go try out that church that my friend keeps telling me to go to. So I went, and I remember leaving after the first day and being like, man, those Christians were not like the other Christians that I met. Like, something's different about them. And they let me know there was a men's group going on. So I started going to the men's group on Wednesday nights. And Wednesday night, I remember I was so anxious to go because I had so much anxiety. I had I didn't even want to be around anybody because I worked from home all the time, and I was just so like in my head. So I was like, all right, I'll force myself to go to this men's group thing. Like, it's probably going to be good for me to be around people, and that's really all I saw it as. I actually remember telling myself like, there's no way I'm going to actually like read my Bible or like be a part of this church or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to be a Christian. I believe in God, but I'm not a Christian. That's what I would say. But life kept going, and I went to that I went to that men's group, and men around my age, a little bit older than me, younger than me, everybody was opening up in this way that I realized, like, man, like Christians aren't like I used to just think Christians were just these like fairy tale people that lived in a little bubble, and Christians were Christians because that's what they grew up in, or that's what their parents said they needed to do, or that was the geographical location of. I had all these reasons as to why Christians were Christians, and I didn't think that any of them actually went through anything challenging in their life. I thought that they were just all hunky dory, sunshine and rainbows, everything was golden, right? But when I went to that men's group, I realized that, man, some of these Christians in here are like dealing with things that I deal with too. And some of these people here are opening up about things that I never even thought somebody that was that happy could have gone through. So I don't know, in the beginning, I felt like, man, this is a good church. These are good people. I got to keep going and see what this is all about, right? And the more that I went to church and the more people showed me what it means to be a genuine follower of Jesus, it made me want to start reading my Bible to see what this was all about. And so I started reading the Gospel of Matthew in the New Testament. And I started to learn about the life of Jesus here on earth and the things that he did, the miracles he performed. I learned about his disciples that he called. All these things started rushing into my mind. And like I said, when I started going to church, I was always so anxious, stressed out, depressed. I was just worried about everything. And I also have a lot of bad stomach problems too. So, like, the combination of both made me feel so, like, out of control. And I just did not know what to do. So, it made me feel so out of control, and I never knew what to do. But when I finally started reading my Bible, I noticed that I had this sense of peace that I didn't have before. When I would read the Bible, it felt like my mind was slowing down, and it didn't feel like how it felt when I would read like other self-help books in the past or other things like a fiction book, for example, because I know that effect happened with that too, where it was like I would feel a little bit better for a moment. But the things that I was reading in the Bible gave me a peace that was beyond my understanding. And it made me feel hopeful, and it made me feel excited for all these things. And I just started to have a transformation. Slowly but surely, I felt like God started moving in my life. Like, I was getting really involved with the church. I was finding my own faith at home. And what I realized was the feeling that I had at church, it followed me home. So I knew that whatever that feeling was, it wasn't just like when you're in a nice, comfortable place on a Sunday and you're like, oh man, I feel at home here. It was more than that. It was like that at home feeling kept following me throughout my life. And the things that I was worrying about before started to get transformed. And I felt like my mind was being renewed almost. And it was like, I feel like God is, doing something here. And so I just kept working on my game. I kept going to church. I kept reading my Bible, and I was just so enthralled by who Jesus was and what Christianity actually means, which is to be a follower of Jesus Christ. It doesn't mean to follow what other people do on a Sunday. No, it means to look at the Bible and study it and actually try to follow Jesus, have a relationship with Jesus. Like, realize that there's nothing you can do to earn your way to heaven. You cannot do anything to earn. Nobody in this world deserves heaven because we all fall short every single day. We have human nature inside of us that causes us to fall short every single day. And so it doesn't matter who you are or how you are or what you've done or what you've been through or what you're gonna do or any of that. Jesus loves you personally. And when I started to feel God's love in my own life, and I started to realize what the gospel was saying about how it's not necessarily on me to earn my way to heaven, but it's on me to accept this free gift that Jesus gave me by dying on the cross for all sin. Like, that's when I realized, like, there's something to this, you know? And so, anyway, I know I've been ranting a little bit, but I kept working on the game, and it was about April or May, I would say, that I started to realize, I kept throwing things at the wall, kept thinking about things for the game, and I realized, like, wait, what if I made like an anxiety simulator, right? Like, what if I made a game where it's almost like my own life, where I'm wandering through this world and I am feeling kind of lost at the moment, and I don't know, I have a lot of anxiety. And then I was like, but, sometimes like conversations with people will calm me down a little bit. Sometimes like they'll distract me a little bit. All these distractions in my life, I noticed they calm me down. And so I started adding things to the game that I thought that I was dealing with myself. And so a lot of the stuff in No Path Forward is, just because of things that I've dealt with my own anxiety. Like, I used to drink beer in college to like calm myself down. And I didn't use it like every day, but I didn't, like, looking back, I never realized that I was using it as a crutch. And I'm sure there's a million other things that I've used in my life and I'm still probably dealing with that I use as a crutch for anxiety. But, the beer thing, um, I added that. It would calm my anxiety for a little bit, but then the next morning, it would be like 10 times worse. Or when I was really like stressed out about maybe a social event or something, if I ate something, it almost felt like it lowered my nervousness for a little bit, but then it would get back to normal again. So I was trying to think of a way to incorporate all these things that I've gone through and kind of put it into a game about anxiety. So I had that around like April or May. I had PS1 style horror game, hiking simulator, anxiety type thing going on. And I think it was by like maybe the end of May, June, early July, I don't even know. But I realized, man, this game is explaining something that I felt very dear to my heart for a long, long time, and even up until the beginning stages of development for it, which was my anxiety. But then I started to find the solution to the anxiety. And I started to see that Jesus was helping me. And I just like started thinking, and I'm like, what if I made this game about my testimony of how I found Jesus and how I went through, how I felt so dark and like hopeless and dreadful in this place that was supposed to be like my favorite place. Nature was supposed to be this place that was almost like nostalgic to me. Like, I grew up going outside all the time and everything I did was outside. And, now I'm at this point in my life, like, that I don't even, like, nature isn't even helping me anymore. Like, it's like these mental problems were following me everywhere that I went. It didn't matter if I was alone. It didn't matter if I was at my favorite spot, if I was doing my favorite thing, if I was with my favorite people. None of that mattered because it was everywhere and it was all consuming, and it literally ruined my life until I met Jesus. So honestly, it kind of like fixed my life because you go down and then, like, once you're at rock bottom, it's like the only place you can look is up, right? So anyway, yeah. So that's how I made the idea of the game. I wanted it to display how dark it got for me before I knew Jesus, but also show the hope that's available to everyone through Jesus. and how even on the first day that I went to church, it was like this all fearing, like huge event in my life where I felt like the church was really big and everyone was like looking at me and everything was just so like daunting, right? Because I've never been to this church and I don't know anyone and I have social anxiety and is God real? I have all these questions. But then walking out of the church that day, it was like I felt renewed. Maybe not entirely like you see in the game, but I felt like a piece of myself had been put back to place. And I felt like that, I never had that feeling before in that, to that extent. Like I've had that feeling before with things that are temporary, but never to that extent. Like never something that I can continue to go back to over and over and over and over again without needing to give something or do something. Like I don't know. Like yeah. So I don't know. I'm still like walking in my faith. I'm still learning how to be a follower of Jesus. I'm sure I mess up every single day. I know there's times where I'm like, man, I'm messing up a lot right now. But that's the funny thing, is that God never uses the people that are perfect and everything's going great. He uses the broken people that, or the brokenhearted, that have gone through things, that can spread his love. You know, he says in the Bible, you're like a lamp, like, you know, we're like a light to the world, and we don't want to hide our light under a lampshade. So um yeah, so hopefully, also, oh my gosh, okay, I'm sorry I'm ranting a lot. This is a 17-minute video. Also, so the marketing of the game, I really wanted the game to look like it was just completely dark. There was nothing more to it. It's just a stereotypical PS1 horror game. I didn't want to market the Jesus part of the game because I wanted to appeal to people that maybe would not be as interested in Jesus. I wanted to show my testimony in a way that was relatable for people. And I figured, you know, I'm also someone who likes video games. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have dealt with the same kinds of emotions and sufferings and struggles and things that I have. So I don't want people to think like, oh, why didn't he actually, I don't care about all that. I just care what God thinks. So yeah, that's why I made No Path Forward. I'll show you some screenshots of what it used to look like, and maybe I'll show you some clips of the development process and I didn't even release any of this, so I'll just put it all on there, and then yeah, who knows, maybe this message impacted someone. I didn't even get into the fact that okay, I'm going to tell you this part because I'm realizing now there's so many parts of this video I'm going to have to chop it up. So when I was working on the game, I think it was around August that I decided, you know what, I'm going to get baptized at my church. I got baptized when I was a little kid, like a baby, but it didn't really mean anything to me because I didn't really know anything about Jesus, and I wasn't even really conscious. I wasn't lucid back then. You know what I mean? So I wanted to get baptized as an adult to show like that I'm like legit about this. And that day was just so awesome. I remember being really nervous to go get baptized in front of everybody, but I did it. My friend that invited me to church, they prayed over me. Just the amount of things that have changed in my life and in my heart and in my mind because of Jesus's impact on me and because of the people that he used to get to me. It's almost impossible for me to look at it and be like, oh, I don't want to do that for other people. Like, I want to be a light for people. I want to help people. And I always knew I wanted to do that, but I didn't know how. But now I'm starting to see Jesus is how I can help people. Like, I couldn't help people before because I didn't know what the thing was that would help. I was still stuck in my ways. But now I'm getting help from somebody that loves me and loves you and just wants the best for me. So I got baptized. Sorry. I got baptized that day. And like I said, I was at my software job, right? I was at that job for like a year and a half actually too, which is really weird. But I was at that job for a year and a half, and I was kind of getting the inkling that the company was downsizing and doing layoffs, and it was just not looking good for other departments. But everyone on my team was like, "Don't worry about our team. It's fine, whatever." But I knew in the back of my mind, like, there's a chance that I get laid off. So I got baptized on the 24th of August, and then on the 25th of August, or maybe it was the 25th and the 26th. Either way, I gotta look. But I got laid off at my job the next day. I randomly got a call from my boss. He was like, "Hey, can we talk?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "We gotta let you go, effective immediately." And I was like all smiles because I was actually praying to God. And I was saying, "God, if this isn't what you want for me, like, let me know. Like, if you don't want me to work in this job anymore, let me know, because I want to help people, and I just want to help people. I don't know how, but I want to help people." And then the next day I got an answer to that prayer, and he was like, "We got to let you go, man." And I was all smiles, and I remember he was just looking at me like, "All right, well, are there any questions you have or any concerns?" And I was like, "No, like, I'll see you later. Take care." And I remember I left and I went on a hike in like the middle of the day, and I was just like, I was just so pumped up because I felt like God was with me. And for something that to everybody else around me was like, I should have been like crumbling, right? I had a bunch of new things I just bought. I should have been crumbling down, but I just felt thankful because I was like, God is here, and God loves me, and God keeps making it evident over and over and over again that he's there. So I don't know. I mean, I hope this touches somebody. Um, Sorry, I forgot. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I it doesn't even end there because I lost my job, and then I was talking to my friend Jordan, and he was like, "Well, maybe it's time you really start working at this game then." And I was like, "You're right." And so end of August, early September, that's when I really started working super hard at the game. And it was like a year of like full-time development. I had some other like odd jobs during that time, but never a full-time thing. But yeah, it's just, I'm so thankful for what God did to me. And I know it's easy to get caught up in numbers and algorithms and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But like, I am just thankful for every single person that genuinely got something from my game. I hope that you love it, and I hope that you realize that, you know, this is more than just a game for me. This is like what actually happened in my life. So I hope you have a great day. I love everybody. I don't know you, but I love you. And if I don't, and if I haven't been loving in the past, I'm working on that. But yeah, I just hope everyone has a good day. And thanks for watching this video. Super long video, more of a podcast, but maybe I'll chop it up. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll show some gameplay footage. Maybe I'll leave this all in there because it's kind of funny, because I'm just like rambling. But I don't know. I hope you have a great day. I love you. See you later.